so awesome. It'd be so cool.
Sonic is a good character. He's currently ranked second on the official Smash Ultimate tier list, only behind Steve. But in the early days of the game, Sonic had a surprising nemesis. Yep, it's Ridley. Before patch 2.00, specifically on a 2D stage, if Sonic misses a homing attack, and in the middle of his landing lag, Ridley uses his side special. Nice job, Ridley. Sonic also has a bad matchup against water, being one of the few characters in Ultimate who actually takes damage from swimming. And he's not even a fire type, or a squid. A callback to his classic games. But aside from Ridley in the past, and stage hazards no tournament player ever has to worry about, Sonic performs swimmingly against a majority of the cast. Sonic has become one of the most contentious characters in the game, especially during the online era of Ultimate. But what exactly makes him so strong? How did he become one of the most dominant forces in Ultimate's competitive scene? And why does it feel like this character was designed to annoy you? Let's start with the obvious. Sonic is fast. Fastest run speed, 4th fastest initial dash, and 7th fastest walk speed, walking faster than Ganon can run. He's fast enough to run through Pac-Man's hydrant and Isabelle's down special, but his airspeed is also surprisingly good, aiding in his evasion on the rare occasion you get him into disadvantage. Given his speed, he is unsurprisingly on the lighter side of the cast, despite the amount of chili dogs he eats on a daily basis. You'd be right to assume he has great frame data on his attacks, and like a fair chunk of the cast, has access to the fastest possible air dodge, as well as the ability to wall jump. But everyone knows Sonic is a fast ball. So let's talk about some not so obvious factors that make him a nightmare to fight. A frame 3 jab, frame 6 tilts, and solid aerials with forward air having a large amount of set knockback, which makes it a great kill option close to the blast zone. Back air being his main edge guarding tool, having decent KO potential overall, the soft hit of neutral air able to combo into other attacks, down air being a cheeky spike and mix-up option and disadvantage, but his up air is especially noteworthy, with the ability to be auto-cancelled almost immediately after the second hitbox comes out, making it an incredible combo and juggling tool able to connect into additional up airs and follow-ups. It's also extremely safe on shield, complemented with his ability to quickly dash away and bait a counterattack. The first hitbox is even capable of comboing on its own. Gameplay aside, I find some of his animations kind of disturbing. These deformities aren't limited to Sonic, but down tilt and down smash specifically have Sonic swap out his sneakers for clown shoes. The hitboxes thankfully don't extend to the tips of his shoes, being pretty normal attacks. Up smash is also relatively normal, having decent kill power and capable of shield poking. But you know what doesn't make sense? Sonic's forward smash. Look at the size of his fist. Maybe he's channeling his inner werehog, because the deceiving amount of range forward smash has due to the shift in his hurtbox makes it equivalent to Snake's up tilt and Brawl, but it gets even crazier. It can outright beat other smash attacks, projectiles, and super moves. Sonic's fist doesn't have a hurtbox during the move, so it becomes a disjointed hitbox, but apparently it has enough range to hit behind him. Oh, and it sends people into Minecraft. Since in February of 2023, when Ultimate's very last— Hey, get out of here. Speaking of broken specials, this is where Sonic players get their paycheck and retirement benefits and 401k, Social Security, and while seemingly not very, well, special on the surface, they each have a bewildering amount of versatility and interesting features. Homing attack is a great burst option, with punish and combo tool. It's also chargeable, stalling him in the air and dealing significantly more percent and shield damage. The move can even be ledge cancelled, although it is a extremely precise and niche tech, but hey, it looks cool. At high percents, the move has enough frame advantage to be a 50-50 stock confirm, either stuffing out most attacks and jumps, or waiting for an air dodge and then punishing. The move is not perfect, however, with its targeting system aiming for the opponent's head, which makes it prone to missing characters with low profile attacks and dashes. If the character's hitbox isn't targetable due to being far away enough or intangible from a spot dodge or roll, the move will miss entirely, sending Sonic straight down, either to his death or slamming into the ground and ending up in over a second of lag. But homing attack complements his frustrating bait and punish playstyle. The same can also be said about his side and down special, spin dash and spin charge. To the untrained eye, both of these moves appear identical. Both punish landings and lead into combos and can be used to recover, but there are a few key differences. His side B, spin dash, takes longer to charge, is a single hit with a hop at the beginning of the move until charged fully. It has 6 frames of intangibility upon startup, but when fully charged, you can even get additional intangibility by turning around. Even if you parry the attack, Sonic is still able to punish you. Down B, or spin charge, has no initial hop or invincibility, travels further in the air, hits multiple times, and can be charged faster by mashing the B button. Its launch angle combos extremely well into forward air, making it a great kill setup. This move also has a technique called spin charge jump. By flicking the C stick while charging, you shoot forward in ball form, having a hitbox and going at a sharp, arched angle. After using these moves in the air, you are stuck as a ball until hitting the ground or by using his double jump, so it's possible to accidentally self-destruct. But if you side B and the frame after releasing B, press A or jump, you're able to do what's called a spin shot, where you fly through the air in a long arc. The downside being you lose your double jump in the process. This technique is also possible with his down special, although significantly more difficult, since you can only press jump instead of A, and must also release the control stick all within the frame after releasing B. If not performed properly, Sonic just wastes his double jump and goes nowhere. Unlike spin charge jump, Sonic uncurls from his ball, having no hitbox, and shoots forward at a different angle. But these moves aren't just limited to those 2 techniques, with several variations and tricks he has up his sleeve with just these 2 moves alone. But here's another not so obvious amazing, doesn't put Sonic into a ball move. His up special. Spring is his main recovery option. It doesn't have a rising hitbox, which seems bad, but Sonic can mix up his recovery by holding down and attack an opponent trying to ledge trap him, or delay his recovery and use a directional air dodge or wall jump. But its uses go far beyond just recovery. It can be used to edgeguard opponents since the spring has a hitbox as it falls. It even has the potential to lead into a follow-up attack. If used on the ground, the spring is able to be jumped on again, being fully actionable, leading to some shenanigans and extreme height. Spring can also be jumped on by opponents, so after taking a stock, it can be used to disrupt opponents trying to take advantage of their invincibility, since the spring can still affect them. And for a brief moment in the air, opponents can jump on it too, which allows for a technique called Spring Ride, where you launch opponents with you before following up with an attack. Up Special can also be used to escape enemy pressure, and you only lose access to his other specials without going into Special Fall, so Sonic can use his aerials and air dodge to mix up his landing. You only suffer from 10 frames of landing lag after using the move, but by holding down after using Spring, you can bypass this, reducing it to just 3 frames of lag. Oh, and it can combo and set up for kills. It can even be used to chase people down in the air. Another ridiculous attribute of this move is if Mario capes him, after Sonic uses an aerial, he can use his up special again, when most characters would be helpless in this state. I guess Mario just has a soft spot for Sonic after years of rivalry. These moves and this character are not without their flaws, but the near infinite amount of routes and timing mix-ups he has is infuriating. In addition to his incredible combo and edgeguarding game. But Sonic wasn't always this oppressive, and his moveset hasn't had any drastic changes from the past, so what about this version of Sonic makes him so strong? To answer this question, we'll have to take a brief trip through history. I like Brawl, but Sonic doesn't. He made his Smash Bros. Debut considerably late in development of the game, appearing at the very end of the Subspace Emissary. His character was rushed, but damn, his voice was cool. He was actually requested all the way back in Melee, leading to some infamous internet trolling. Sonic was fast as usual, but he lacked strong KO options and setups, being considered a mid-tier. His side B still had its intangibility and could be shield cancelled. His homing attack could be used indefinitely in the air, which was pretty ridiculous. However, his up special was considerably worse, with the inability to grab ledge while rising. But his forward smash was still pretty broken. And he kept most of his movement options throughout the series. Sonic players relied less on his run and dash speed and more on his specials to move around the stage. I wonder why. And, like most characters in Brawl, he had his fair share of obscure tech. As a result of his speed and poor offense, he became heavily reliant on defensive play and camping in tournament settings. Brawl was where his hit-and-run playstyle originated and was most toxic, being able to control the pace of the match once he got a lead. In Smash 4, Sonic is considered a top 10 character, mostly due to his improvements he received in KO power, like in his throws, smash attacks, and back air, whose sour spot was actually stronger than their sweet spot. His up air was now much safer and a great combo tool, and spin dash became a reliable combo option at a wide range of percents, although his taunts were severely nerfed.
Sonic speed! Yeah, sure, whatever.
Improving his offense indirectly improves his defense, because it allows him to gain a lead quicker. Due to his speed and movement options, Sonic has a disproportionate amount of control over the pace of the match.
Is that ball invincible when you throw that?
Yeah, it starts at the...
It's just broken.
Despite rushdown play being more viable for Sonic and in Smash 4 overall compared to Brawl, having the option to play defensive after gaining a stock or percent lead was now much easier to achieve, leading to his rise in the tier list.
So it really is.
Sonic in Smash Ultimate remained largely the same. His weight was reduced, as well as the speed of his rolls and spot dodge. Homing attack became a better combo option at the cost of a large amount of lag when whiffing, and his throws had their knockback decreased. However, the most noticeable nerf being his inability to cancel spin dash into shield, that or his Final Smash becoming the worst in the game.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
The community initially believed Sonic to be worse compared to Smash 4, but were oblivious to the crucial buffs he received to his homing attack, kill power, and combo game. Aside from the inability to run through characters and get a pivot grab, Smash Ultimate's physics and mechanics buffed Sonic disproportionately compared to other characters, with the run speeds increasing by around 10% across the cast, along with the universal 3-frame jump squat, plus the ability to directional air dodge. Despite these changes and the buffs Sonic received throughout the history of the game, the true strength of this character was not fully recognized until the online era of Ultimate. During the pandemic, players had to resort to practicing and competing in tournaments online. Smash's historically laggy online gameplay, the lack of widespread Ethernet users due to the additional cost of an adapter, the increase in native input delay, and Ultimate's sluggish buffer system made specific moves impossible to react to, and certain playstyles infuriating to play against online. Sonic's speed, powerful specials, and defensive playstyle thrive in this environment. The buffs to his offensive game throughout the series exacerbated his defensive and risk-averse play-to-win strategy, which led to a solid jump in results and placement in the tier list. This is not to discredit the achievements of notable Sonic mains during this period, like Sonics and Wrath, who captured the spotlight and claimed their fame, or notoriety, depending on who you ask, cementing themselves as one of the strongest players, making regular top 8 appearances in the Coinbox, Ultimate's weekly online major. Once in-person events returned, many people were quick to doubt the abilities of Sonic mains now that players escaped the swamp of online lag and input delay. And even after Sonic players continued their success offline, they still faced criticism by some members of the community, calling the playstyle lame, boring, and unskilled. But it is hard to discredit and ignore the results and sometimes genius gameplay from these players. But after knowing all of this information about Sonic, it makes you wonder, just how easy or difficult is it to be good with this character? And what exactly does it take to become the best?
Yes! Barely made it.
Please consider subscribing or becoming a Ko-fi member if you really enjoyed my content. Thank you for watching, and thanks to Maxley Dev, FluffySheep17, Smax, and Lil for your continued support.
Every great competitive scene eventually reaches a point where it feels as though history repeats itself. That's kind of the beauty of something that's old enough to have history. For Super Smash Bros. Melee, those moments are always happening. It's history, a constantly moving object, being written and rewritten as torchbearers pass along their legacy. And yeah, you already read the title, we're doing a tennis video. And dude, I barely even play tennis. I play pickleball, for God's sake. Like, why does tennis work so well? Hey, have you read the inner game of tennis? Big thanks to G Fuel, who has paid to be mentioned in today's video. Yeah, you heard right, I'm an official gamer-fueled partner, woo! Sorry, I don't know what came over me. Anyway, G Fuel just rebranded with a new logo, a new website, and an updated Formula 2.0 with cleaner ingredients and a better taste. And if you like their old stuff, don't worry, those are still there too. For G Fuel's Fear Fest, I got sent the Jason, Chucky, and Nightmare on Elm Street collaborations, and they honestly taste great. Some flavors even have a non-caffeinated Supreme Hydration option, which I personally like so I don't get super caffeinated out. From October 9th to the 15th, they're also running a BOGO sale for all of their FearFest product launches, and if you use my discount code WALT at checkout or go to gfuel.com/Walt, you'll get 20% off your order. Full transparency as always, but any purchase you make with my link will give me a small commission while also informing G Fuel I'm an epic gamer, so thanks. I'm going to be a long-term partner with G Fuel, so definitely expect to see more of them on the channel in the coming months, but I just wanted to say thanks to all of you guys watching for being really chill with these sponsors in the first place. Thanks again to G Fuel for supporting me in the channel, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Allow me to set the scene for you. Before you are 3 players, 2 young guns who have thoroughly ushered in a new era of the game, better than all the rest and making sure everyone knows it. Alongside them, a grizzled vet who just won't say die. If you aren't as familiar with Melee, I'm talking about these 3 players, Zane, Cody Schwab, and Hungrybox. At least at the time of writing this video, which is like 3/4 of the way through 2025, it seems as though Zane and Cody are on their own tier, with Hungrybox slightly below. But the way in which the current elite are battling for supremacy looks eerily similar to what's happening in professional tennis with Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, and Novak Djokovic. Not just in narrative, but in playstyle as well, to a creepy degree of similarity. In both games, these rivalries aren't just about results. They're about clashing playstyles, generational narratives, and the question of who will truly define the era. Zane is to Melee as Carlos Alcaraz is to tennis. Just like the young Spanish superstar, Zane is explosive, charismatic, and impossible to ignore. Zane took his main character Marth to new heights, becoming the de facto Marth torchbearer after the reign of Mewtwo King, redefining what the character's punish game could really be. He's recently taken on content in part to develop his own personal brand and proved he could be just as good on his main as he could with any other character in the cast. The Suckathon happened and Zane won 4 major tournaments in a row. Coincidence? I think not. Alcaraz did the same in tennis, an all-rounder who blended raw talent with a tireless work ethic. Alcaraz excels from the baseline but is not afraid to approach the net, and his mental game is completely on point, with an absurd 93% win rate in matches that have gone 5 sets. Couple all of that with a creative and unpredictable playstyle, and it feels as though he has the best of all the old legends: Nadal's explosiveness, Djokovic's defense, and Federer's finesse. He is only 22 years old with a mind-numbing 6 Grand Slams to his name already, just 1 short of the legendary John McEnroe, and 5 from cracking into the top 5 of all time. Both Zane and Alcaraz are loved by their fans, and when they're on, it's a sight to behold. They are incredibly stylish, but both are ruthlessly weaponizing that swagger into valid tools. For Zane, these are pivots, edge cancels, sour spot mix-ups like dare and up smash. For Carlos, the forehand drop shot. These things look disrespectful, and trust me, sometimes they are, but they've become so optimized and so common that this type of movement is just a part of the vernacular of their competitive scenes at this point. Watching them win with this style behind them feels like we're watching their respective sports evolve in real time. And they also both dyed their hair blonde, so there's that. Then there's Cody Schwab, who to me mirrors Jannik Sinner. Cody's rise to the top of Melee was a slow burn, one built on consistency and precision, and his original tag, doing work. For a long time, people wrote Cody off as just another Fox player, just as some initially dismissed Sinner as one-dimensional. Thanks to some coaching from Armada in the pesky Puff matchup, Cody's breakout tournament at Summit 8 proved that he wasn't just any old Fox though. Both he and Sinner proved the masses wrong through sheer optimization. Cody's Fox was always in the lab, every punish looking meticulously crafted, to the point where he made Fox look like a near-perfect realization of what the character could be. It is so optimized, so difficult, that you simply cannot deny he is the best player to ever use the space animal. Sinner, by comparison, has an insanely sharp baseline game that was mechanical, efficient, and brutally effective. The crown jewel of this game plan, though, is in his reduced take-back time. He's remarkable because he literally saves time and is therefore less predictable in his spots because of a short take-back on ground strokes. Much like Cody's tech skill almost feels like it's saving frames, this tiny yet exponentially effective optimization has made Sinner a fast riser to the top of tennis. Speaking of making it to the top, the way in which Cody and Jannik have rose to prominence is also uncanny. Both players had their come up after their modern day counterpart, so Cody after Zane and Jannik after Carlos. We often see this narrative of a quote-unquote methodical player becoming unseated by this magical upstart. But here, it's the other way around. Zane and Carlos were the best in the world first, followed by Cody and Jannik, who made their way into #1 consideration. They may not have that same charisma as Zane or Alcaraz, but they earned that #1 spot the old-fashioned way, by grinding until the results spoke for themselves. And finally, there's Hungrybox, who is the Novak Djokovic of Melee. Both are veterans, survivors, players who refuse to go quietly no matter how many times people say their time has passed. Hungrybox, in truth, spent many years of his career being perceived as a foil or villain to the scene, even getting a freaking crab thrown at him at the peak of the toxicity. Every single time the game has threatened to leave him behind, Hungrybox has found a way to hang on. His stint from 2017 to 2019 as the best player in the world was followed with a quote-unquote slump, but to this day, day, he has still never fallen out of the top 10. Now, in 2025, he's returned to a familiar summit, reaching number 3 in the world just behind the inevitability of Zayn and Cody. In tennis, Djokovic's story is nearly identical, like to a freakish degree. His defensive counterpunching style of tennis was equivalent to Jigglypuff's initial perception to the scene. Both are frustrating to play against, suffocating to endure, and devastating when executed at the highest level. And this is a nice way of me saying HBox has gone on record multiple times saying I'm going to kill the game by ledge camping or things like that, so you get what I mean. But one of the bigger notes I want to bring up that is eerily similar between these two is in how they both served essentially the same role in their larger group. Both of them were considered minor members of what are considered the greatest generations of their respective titles, the Big Three in tennis and the Five Gods in Melee. While perhaps thought of as the weakest links in their respective chains at first, both Hungrybox and Djokovic went on to outlast all of the other luminaries. This is part of the reason why both were thought of as villains too, by the way, and it's the weird part about both of their trajectories into more beloved figures in their scenes as they age into charming crotchetiness. I'm not gonna lie, it's kinda hard to root against a 38-year-old Djokovic whose body can literally break in half when he's still going head-to-head with some of the best players in the world. On top of all that, Hungrybox and Djokovic both hold what seems to be an untouchable record at this juncture of their careers, of the most titles in their respective sports. Djokovic with 24 Grand Slams, and Hungrybox with 38 major tournament victories. The real story and the relationship between these two players is that they're the ones you thought would live in this elite status and end up the less remembered. But instead, they have bridged generations, outlasted everyone else, and they have the titles to show for it. Actually, one more thing on top of that because I just find it kind of funny, but both of these players rose to prominence following a pretty significant lifestyle change. For Hungrybox, he enlisted the help of Crunch, one of his longtime friends, to be his coach, and for Djokovic, he found out he had a gluten intolerance. The coaching for HBox and diet change for Novak resulted in quite literally immediate wins for both of them, which again is just a pretty funny coincidence. Like I said, I'm not much of a tennis player, recreational at best, and much more of a watcher than anything else. But why exactly do these comparisons feel so right? Is it just because Hungrybox and Novak are old? Well, kind of, and many have said Djokovic is the clutch box of tennis. This is real, but here's the thing though. In both Melee and tennis, we are witnessing a true clash of generations. The young phenoms Zayn and Cody seen as heirs to the throne that Hungrybox once sat on. Not to mention, this is also coming after a time where we called players gods, which included Hungrybox. In tennis, that former godhood, if we were to assign it, belonged to players like Nadal and Federer, once heralded as the best of their eras. The other reason I find this so compelling is because there's just such a difference in playstyles in these big three players. Melee, like tennis, thrives on rivalries where these playstyles counter and check each other. Well, okay, I guess Zayn and Cody both kind of destroy Hungrybox right now, but you get what I mean. Tennis, I find, has a similar power dynamic, at least with these players. Alcaraz's all-court aggression, Sinner dominating the baseline, and Djokovic playing a nasty defensive return game. Nobody is unbeatable, sure. There have been times in Melee where people look damn close to being unstoppable, but there exists this perpetual what if that keeps us coming back for more. But there's one more question we need to ask, and that's why do we, or why should we even care about this? In 2025, this is especially captivating because we're in a moment of true uncertainty. For years, both scenes were dominated by a select group of their most elite, the Big Three in tennis and the Five Gods in Melee. As exciting as the gameplay was for those time periods, looking back in retrospect, it probably got predictable. Something I have constantly said on commentary is that right now it feels like the most up for grabs Melee has ever been. There are no free meals at every single level of the game. You just got ranked top 10 in the world? Congrats, a Luigi player beat you twice. You just won a tournament? Awesome. Well, now you have to deal with the worst performance of your career. There is just so much variance, and that unpredictability makes these sports so compelling to watch. Fans don't just watch to see who wins, they tune in to see how these styles clash, how the narratives unfold, what breakout stars can and do appear at every turn. And I think these parallels amplify the drama. Watching Zayn and Cody fight at Battle of BC, or Tipped Off, or Supernova, or most recently Riptide feels like watching Alcaraz grind out Sinner at the US Open. Watching Hungrybox clutch out a last stock situation feels like Djokovic saving match point after match point time after time at Wimbledon. But finally, the reason all of this matters is because, in part, these eras are meant to end. As of the 2025 US Open, Sinner and Alcaraz have won the last 8 Grand Slams. Add in Djokovic and they've they've won the last 14. 2025 in Melee is looking like the Zayn and Cody show, with Zayn holding 5 major wins, Cody 3, and HBox 1. Like I said before, this is coming after the so-called 5 Gods of Melee era, and during a period in 2024 where it really felt like just about anyone could win a Melee major with how open the field was. So the reason I find this so compelling is because at a certain point, we're not just watching tournaments anymore. We're watching eras begin, end, and be noticed in real time. So what exactly does it mean to say Melee is in its tennis era? To me, it means that Melee isn't just surviving, but thriving, to a point where its narratives are as layered and compelling as any other traditional sport. This tennis parallel was basically just a narrative device for the sake of this video, intended to help you guys as fans become more invested in watching a dynamic rivalry and power struggle between 3 completely different players, each representing their own philosophy of play and of competition. And hopefully it worked. Hungrybox is Djokovic, the stubborn survivor, reminding us that greatness never truly fades. Cody is Sinner, the optimizer, proving that hard work can beat talent. And Zayn is Alcaraz, the prodigy fulfilling destiny, marching his way to goathood. Together, whether they wanted to or not, they've become intertwined to a story that keeps their sport alive, relevant, and unforgettable. And not for nothing, it's pretty remarkable that both the histories and the personalities line up so well. On their own, this is just a random video essay rambling about something I found interesting, and maybe it isn't compelling enough. But the personality aspect to this parallel makes the story that much more intriguing, since we have all of these players who are all so different. It is truly a unique mix of personalities that enhances the pure results-based story, which I think is awesome. But hey, I think I could probably make a story out of anything. That's kind of my job, right? This is the fun part, and sometimes the stories write themselves. Thanks for watching. Gotta give a huge shout out to my top supporters on Patreon and YouTube memberships. I just did a stream recently and you guys honestly really super showed up. So now we have this fun little banner on the top of the channel to show all of my YouTube members to you guys. So yeah, let me know if you want to see more of those streams. I think the middle tier on YouTube gets your name voiced in the credits like what I'm doing right now, so thanks to Avishua Stein, Bobby Wasabi, Dark Genix, Eric is Cool, Gustavo Cantu Fernandez, Henry Huang, Ian, Jazz the Pirate, Justin Duncan Mills, Kyle Carlin, Marshall Bradley, and Sam Wright.
dinosaurs. The great giant elephant.
What? Huh? Huh? What? Iroh?
Bow before him!
How long could you hold a grudge? I grew up in an insular Midwestern suburb. Not this one, but they all look close enough alike. This was the sort of town where the kids you went to kindergarten with and the kids you graduated high school with were about 90% the same all the way through. Needless to say, 13 years was plenty of time for someone to wear out their welcome, so by the time I got to thinking about university, I just wanted to go somewhere far enough away that I'd never need to interact with most of these people again. By now I think I've mellowed out on that subject considerably. Some of my friends from this era will remain friends until the instant of my perishing. Some people I wouldn't be opposed to reconnecting with if the opportunity arose, but for a few individuals, I'd prefer it if we never meet again. It's just one of those funny, intangible things that being a social animal entails. 13 years was enough. I don't need any more, even if I can't name any particular transgressions they've committed against me. On May 2nd, 2019, in the Oda Ward of Tokyo, Toon Link player Level 1 experiences a particular transgression. He is double eliminated from Umebura Japan Major 2019, the largest Smash Bros. Tournament that country will hold all year, by the best SSBU player in the world, before Top 48. For the next 6 years, as both himself and the Japanese Smash community grow and evolve beyond anyone's wildest projections, this moment will hang over him like a shroud, and what would otherwise be a silly, hypothetical question instead becomes a daunting reality. How long can you hold a grudge, and how hard would you work to pay it back? Real quick, I'm supposed to say that if you enjoy this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel for more vids, or if you're on mobile, scroll down and click the hype button to tell the YouTube algorithm to show it to more people. So, it'd make me real happy if you did all that stuff. Thank you! When talking about competitive scenes, stats nerds tend to compartmentalize by grouping players into categories. For example, there are top players, the best players of any given scene, who compete at the highest level, and then a tier below that, you have the depth, composed of notable players who are threats to make big runs or upsets on occasion, but not quite consistent enough to keep up the top echelon. This was the position that 18-year-old Toon Link main Level 1 found himself in going into 2019's Golden Week, a modest yet growing fish in the vast depths that constituted the talent pool of Japanese Smash. Stats nerds might have known him for his bizarre character lineup of Toon Link and a secondary Isabelle, but despite the Hero of Wind's obscurity in the West, Toon Link was actually a relatively popular character in the Japanese meta. The character was considered both strong and pretty easy to learn, sort of like how Wolf was viewed at the time in North America, and as a result, there were plenty of notable Toon Links across Japan. Players like Sigma and Rima led the charge, both of them veterans of the character who'd been playing since the days of Brawl and early Smash 4, while names like Manzoku, Shirome, Cross, Seika, and Resin, spelled R-E-S-N, and not to be confused with other JP Toon Link Resin, spelled like the word, would continue to emerge over the game's lifespan. At the time, Level 1 was still a pretty unproven quantity. He'd had one particularly notable event in his career, a 5th place finish at Smash 4 Super Regional Umebura 3rd Anniversary Tournament, during which he'd accrued the lion's share of his best Wii U wins, Umeki, Takara, Rain, Mao, and even Rima, across an 8-set losers run. But since then he'd only put up modest results, with 65th and 97th place finishes across his prior 2 Ultimate Majors, Umebura's SP2 and 3 respectively. As such, Level 1 entered the 1015 entrant Umebura Japan Major 2019 as the 130th seed, a distant 3rd highest seeded Toon Link behind Rima and Sigma. Still, in Day 1's round-robin pools, Level 1 had a great showing, sweeping his 7 sets with a perfect 14-0 record and upsetting the pool's top seed, Adult Link main Akira. As such, Level 1 earned the right to continue to round 2 pools the next day in the spot of the 127th seed. And in doing so, he embarked on a collision course with MK Leo. If you know anything about Smash Ultimate, or about competitive Smash in general, you know who MK Leo is. One of the most famous and revered Smash players of all time, MK Leo was the uncontested #1 player throughout the first half of Ultimate's lifetime, and remains one of its most popular and beloved personalities to the present day. Well, at the time Leo's legend was largely unwritten, Umebura predated his EVO win, the first global rankings, the advent of Game 4 Leo, he was still the 2nd seed of the event. He was still the Genesis 6 and Smash Ultimate Summit champion, and he was still a much bigger fish than poor Level 1, who was swiftly dispatched 0-2 in their winner's top 256 set. One more loss and he'd place his seed, finishing the event at 129th. But Level 1 had been here before. His best tournament run of all time, Umebura 3rd Anniversary Tournament, had been kickstarted by a loss to first seed Ken in winner's top 64. The losers bracket was where he'd thrived in the past, and with luck, it would be where he'd thrive here. Level 1 went to work, defeating Greninja main Shiki, Korra main Fua, and Cloud player Takuman all in a row, again managing not to drop a single game. Now he just needed to win one more set to advance to the next division of the bracket, the top 48. At roughly 12:45 local time, Level 1 sat down to play his deciding match. Sitting next to him, once again, was MKLeo. Yes, immediately after defeating Level 1 in Winter's Top 128, MKLeo would fall to Peach Main and 63rd seed TKM in one of the largest upsets of the tournament. Thanks to a spectator, footage of what happens next survives, uploaded to Level 1's own YouTube channel. In 2 brutal games, MKLeo's Lucina once again triumphs over the Toon Link player, her disjointed aerials far outranging Level 1's own stubby swings, and her offstage counter proving to be an unconquerable obstacle to recovery. Within 6 minutes, Level 1 is knocked out of the tournament, double eliminated by the #1 player in the world for 49th place. Objectively speaking, this was a good result for Level 1. He'd outperformed his projected placement by a whole 3 rounds and had gone a staggering 22-0 in games played against all of his opponents not named MKLeo. But the way in which his run ended, gatekept from top 42 by the 2nd seed, the best player in the world who he'd been forced to fight twice in the span of a couple hours, had to leave a sour taste in his mouth. As time went on, it only got worse. MKLeo would lose in the immediate next round to Umeki, another Peach player, one who Level 1 had defeated back in the days of Smash 4, meaning that, from a particularly pessimistic perspective, it could be said that MKLeo had traveled across the world to this event solely to eliminate Level 1. Furthermore, his fellow Toon Link mains would put up great results, with Sigma defeating Akasa, Zaki, and Aiba to finish 13th, and Rima upsetting Zachary, Ken, and Nietono to make top 8, a kind of solidarity-driven comfort to be sure, but also unequivocal proof that in this meta, at this very tournament, Toon Link was capable of outstanding success. And of course, as the year continued, and MKLeo saw runaway success, winning Super Major after Super Major and cementing himself as the undeniable best player of everyone in the competitive scene, that double elimination would only feel more and more unfair. As he'd tweet some 20-odd minutes after his first defeat of the day, it's tough to face the same person on the winning and losing side. Of course, Level 1 was perfectly valid to be upset about all this. Having to face the best player in the world twice in one bracket is always hard, but for it to happen before top 48 is bordering on straight up unfair, and to explain why, I'd like to talk about double elimination. For competitors who make it deep enough in tournament brackets, double elimination is just a fact of life. It's quite common, for instance, that the runner-up of a given event is defeated twice by the tournament's victor. If the player who finishes 3rd is double eliminated by the 2nd place finisher, perhaps that could be called bad bracket luck. If the bronze medalist is likely to beat the tournament winner, then a small change in seed order could result in a bracket where they could have won. But by and large, these outcomes are accepted as a reality of double elimination tournaments. But the earlier and earlier in bracket that someone is double eliminated, before top 8, before top 48, or god forbid even farther back, the worse it often feels for competitors. If not for that one player, it's so natural to think, I might have gone so much further. It upends the notion that you're trying to outpace a broader competitive environment, to rise up the ranks of your given community. Instead, your elimination is the fault of that one individual who was good enough to beat you, but wasn't good enough to stay in winner's bracket long enough to keep from meeting you again and lose his top 64. But you see, in Level 1's case, it wasn't merely misfortune that resulted in facing double jeopardy too soon. Arguably, the very structure of the bracket itself conspired against him. See, although if you make it far enough into the tournament, you can theoretically face any other player who entered the same bracket, for the vast majority of entrants at large events, the pickings are much slimmer. By logistical necessity, tournaments past a certain size, with hundreds or even thousands of entrants, are organized into pools, smaller groups that make up chunks of the overall bracket. This is so that, rather than trying to organize throngs of players simultaneously, tournament staff can instead only deal with a handful of competitors at a time. But intrinsically, partitioning off sections of the bracket lowers the number of possible opponents for most players by an order of magnitude. Furthermore, the specific organization of Umibur's brackets makes double elimination ever so slightly more likely. In double elimination brackets, common practice is to alternate which side of loser's bracket a defeated player is placed in each round, which delays the point at which competitors have a chance of rematching each other in losers. But Umibur's brackets were set up so as to only allow one player out of the loser's bracket into top 48. This meant that for every player in the pool who went to losers, if a competitor who bested them lost their immediate next match, and that match wasn't the pool's winner's final set, that player was liable to double eliminate them. If brackets were instead merged a round earlier, at Luce's top 64, then players could again be scrambled and put on opposite sides of Luce's bracket, unable to rematch each other again until top 4. Now, this isn't to lambast the Umebura TOs, all of whom were far more knowledgeable and experienced in running events back in 2019 than I am right now. Standards and culture was different at the time, in some ways better. The use of round-robin pools on the event's first day ensured that every entrant got to play close to 7 sets, and was no doubt a huge logistical hurdle. But I do think this example highlights how even seemingly minute quirks of bracket structuring can have tremendous impacts on the player experience. At modern majors, even at today's iterations of Umebura, pools with 2 players out on Luce's side are the norm. It wasn't merely bad luck that led MKLeo to double eliminate level 1. Rather, as soon as he lost his next round, it became all but an inevitability. So imagine you're level 1, shortly after the conclusion of Umebura Japan Major 2019. It is 13 days before your 19th birthday. The number 1 player in the world, and your new personal opponent for life, has flown back across the Pacific and out of your reach. Prospects for revenge seem slim to non-existent. Where do you go from here? What the hell are you supposed to do next? Here's what level 1 does. He makes a few post-mortem Twitter posts and is called either cute or pitiful, or both, by Rima. He uploads the VOD of his Lucis set with Leo to his YouTube channel, lamenting in the description, "What do you mean this is a match for top 48? Later in the month, he hits a combo of 924 on a Tunedin cabinet, and writes in the description, "My body hurts." Then, he becomes the best Toon Link player in the world.
こう仕掛ける上投げやってきますが、ここはクイット対してレベル1、日本を守れるかこの状況。横強がセンターヒット届いているのはレベル1。爆弾から空中うまい。なんなんですかね、空前外しても空前の方がリターン高いし、空前外しても噛んでカバーできるっていう。おそらくはそういう感じかな。あっと流れるように撃墜。突然から空狙っていって空狙っていって空前から運んでブーメランそしてゴツルが着地が怖い。よしこうなれた。さすがにガッチャバック撃墜ですと筋肉場にぶがりそうに見えるのですが、着地狩りランが戻ってくるところを使って横スマッシュ神の間合いですね。さあそして今度は爆弾を空中で当ててからの甘い、うまい、大丈夫、うまい、追いかけてる。ちょっと時間気にし始めたかな。そうですよね。さあこの辺りもどこまで向き合うか。これはどうだ。引っかかった瞬間にそのまま撃墜。一応レベル1選手も当て抜いた空中前。これはどうだ。撃墜。雄たけびを上げるレベル1。ちょっとまだまだ安全ではないかもしれませんね。さあ始まったぞ。下り空中からどんなコンボルートがロキまずい。一乗り爆弾が当たる。ブーメランも気まずい。これ失敗がした空中へ撃墜。手前の測り方上京空中へ確実にラストストックもぎ取りに来ている。ブーメランから空中前3ストックの星の空中へ大球使ってこれ熱い手がブーメランから大戦切りそれしかないルート行きましたね。緩やかなフックマッシュ足りない上昇距離を補う。
The change is almost instant. At his immediate next big event, Sumibato SP5, level 1 places in the top 8, defeating Kept, Sigma, Etsuji, and Umeki. A few months later, he joins Rima in the echelons of Umebura top 8ers, with a run to 5th place at the event's 7th iteration, this time overcoming Nishiya, Aim, Su, and, once again, Umeki. Yeah, if he'd beaten Leo at Umebura Japan Major, he absolutely would have gotten farther than 33rd. The quarantine and immediate post-pandemic era is largely a quiet one for the Toon Link player, turning in respectable but unexciting performances at new major series like Kagurabi and Maisuma Top. But things pick up for him in the second half of 2023, as Level 1 wins his first Super Regional at Chubu Tournament Toyota Grand Slam 15, and notches a new personal best major finish with the bronze medal placement at Maisuma Top 15, a run which doubles as the record highest major placement for his character in Ultimate history. It's in 2024 though, where Level 1 is granted his first opportunity at revenge. For Golden Week of 2024, a huge contingent of NA players make their way east, including Zomba, that year's Genesis champion, Spargo, the #1 player on the continent, and, of course, the consensus greatest of all time in Smash Ultimate, MKLeo. And furthermore, they'll be attending 2 majors over the course of their stay, Delta number 8 and Kagura B12. Initially, odds of Level 1 and MKLeo rematching at the prior event seemed slim. The two are in the same pool of top 64, but on opposite sides of the bracket. But with Level 1 seeded to lose to Spargo in Winners Top 64, and Leo seeded to lose to Shutone the round after, the Toon Link player actually only needs to make 1 upset to be projected into Leo. However, on the day, things go differently. After DK main Rarakusu upsets Spargo and Level 1 in turn defeats the Great Ape as seeded, the Toon Link player instead loses in the same round as Leo, resulting in his being placed on the far bracket. Now, in order to have a shot at revenge, Level 1 potentially needs to overcome 3 top 20 players in a row before he can reach losers 8ths. And, against all odds, he does. One by one, Level 1 overcomes T, Spargo, and Hurt, the rank 12, 2, and 19 players in the world, to secure a spot in the tournament's top 8. Now, he just needs to sit back and wait for his adversary to do the same.
さすがの日本が誇る屈指の大砲、うますぎる、決めてきたポップオフ。
Yes, astonishingly, it is Leo, not Level 1, who falters before the two are able to meet, falling 1-3 to Japan's best hero player Akakiksu, who in turn subsequently knocks Level 1 out at 7th place. And unfortunately, his second opportunity at Kagura B12 is even less likely. Though again seeded into similar paths as the bracket, Level 1's rematch with Leo would either require him to defeat Mia, the second best player in the entire country, or for Leo and him to both lose in Winners Top 64, at which point they'd be projected to play in losers. Though when the time comes, Mario main Snow is indeed able to upset MKLeo at the right time, Level 1 is unfortunately unable to reach him, having lost to Depth Luigi number 8, that's his tag, not some sort of witticism, the guy's called number 8, and clawing together a 7-set run to 25th on the opposite end of losers. Alas, once more, Leo departs from Japan without providing Level 1 an opportunity to settle the score, leaving him with the cold comfort of having just made top 8 at a P tier, and then top 32 at another, bigger P tier. Brrrr. It's by this point that my journalistic integrity, however much a YouTuber can be said to have, compels me to make a crucial clarification. Level 1 has, to this point, not publicly voiced a desire to rematch MKLeo. Sure, he expressed frustration at the results of the Umebur Japan Major immediately after the tournament, and later in 2021, he again mentioned being double eliminated by Leo in response to a post by Death Pac-Man Ginkgo, who defeated Shogun twice at the same event, so it's clearly an incident that stood out in his mind. But there's no interview or tweet or any sort of public statement where Level 1 clearly expressed a desire to run it back with Leo. I'd like to be very direct about this, because the last thing I want to do is put words in anyone's mouth. But with that being said, I don't think this lack of confirmation detracts particularly from the narrative of Level 1's quest for revenge. The vast majority of storylines in Smash Bros. And esports in general are derived from similarly speculative evidence. At the end of the day, tournaments are just groups of people trying to beat each other at video games. Whether they have personal stakes or greater ambitions to win one bracket or another is a matter known solely to them, unless they choose to elaborate. Any greater shared fiction, any plot threads, or literary through lines are overwhelmingly collectively imagined in the minds of spectators, and no less valuable for it, as they still hold just as much power to engage viewers and get them invested in which player will get hit far enough off stage first. If all this story amounts to is an account of something really cool that happened, well, that's good enough for me, because what's about to happen is really, really cool. It's now Golden Week of 2025. In the 6 years since Level 1 was double eliminated by MKLeo, he's accomplished almost everything a Depth player could dream to ask for. He's beaten Rima and Sigma, his competitors for best Toon Link in the world. He's beaten Spargo, the best player from North America, and Zachary, once the best player in Japan, on the big stage. He's finished in the top 4 of some of the most prestigious tournaments the game's ever seen. He's been ranked among the global top 50, the highest a Toon Link main has ever been ranked before. There is just one more thing that Level 1 hasn't done, that 6 years ago he likely wanted more than anything else. And now, at Kagura B13, the biggest tournament in the history of Smash Ultimate, he finally has another opportunity to do it. There is, as always, an obstacle, tucked surreptitiously in Level 1's first round pool at a whopping seed 1,587 is Onisan, a rarely seen Depth Bayonetta player who chooses this tournament to be his breakout run. By the end of his bracket, Onisan will beat 5 players for a cumulative upset factor of 31, and outplace his rejective seed by 9 rounds. And, as you've probably guessed, One of those upsets comes in the form of a 2-1 victory over Level 1 in the Pools Finals, winners top 1024. For Onisan, this is trivially fantastic. For Level 1 though, this sucks. It's his third time losing in Pools across his last 4 Premier Tier events, and while he's managed to about break even in the past, trying to do the same thing at the largest Smash Ultimate tournament in all of history is a big ask, a next to impossible quest. But Level 1 had been here before. His former best tournament run of all time, Umebura 3rd Anniversary Tournament, had been kickstarted by a loss to first seed Ken in Winners Top 64. The losers bracket was where he'd thrived in the past, and with luck, it'd be where he'd thrive here. Over the next 24 hours, Level 1 would defeat Day, the Rob, Spear no Shinkamai, the Ice Climbers, Zurzel the Min Min, Harasen the other Ice Climbers, Malk the other Min Min, Ryuk the other Rob, Hera the Bowser, Shadow the Mario, and Nyono Kunbu the Diddy Kong. 9 victories in a row, across which he dropped only 4 games. Now he sits and loses top 32. His next match will be for 25th place at possibly the most important event he'll ever attend. And after losing to Neo in Winners Top 128, and subsequently defeating Suinoko, Akakiksu, and Sparko, at last, sitting next to Level 1 once again, is MKLeo. There is one final hurdle. After more than half of a decade of waiting, Level 1 is finally in position once again to take revenge for his defeat at Umebura Japan Major 2019. The issue is, he now has to actually defeat MKLeo, one of the greatest talents to ever touch Smash Bros, in a best-of-5 set. It'd be one thing if Leo were playing Joker, who Level 1 has plenty of practice against courtesy of Chubulev and Tsubaki, or if he still played Lucina, who Level 1 had overcome under the piloting of Etsuji back in Sumabato SP5. No. For this set, MKLeo was using Aegis, a character that to my knowledge Level 1 had simply never faced in a ranked offline tournament setting prior to this moment. And also, it bears noting, a character who might be Toon Link's single worst matchup in the game, at least according to Level 1's own matchup chart from just the year prior. Well, this is just how it's gonna have to be, Level 1. Show us what you can do.
なるほど、このカードだとまあでもゆかり消息があるから飛ばして下強さあこの展開をフージアに対してゆかり消息この有利展開をどうものにしていくあーちょっとだあえての上乗りさあただ上スラップそうだあえての崖だしさあ下スラップで取っていくですよねそうですよね判断がちょっと難しいその場回避で下強 DA さあ天下取ってのレベルアップブーメランから空中まで一本取っていったのは、全く悪くなかったんで、そうですねこのバッティを選んだのはそうですね、まあ、あとは上のバストラインが狭いので、はい、なるほど、本村での早期撃墜なるほど、空中で撃墜したいからっていうのもありますねはい、台を利用した空下の動きもおーっといきなり取っていったミケルよこの有利展開を守りたいただ空中まで引き落ち崖展開さあ横強いいベクトルおーブーメランから空中までさあこれはプロミネンスリボルトに相手が近づきたいところに D を差し込んでさあただ崖展開が8秒で抜けるよさあこれがラインが2変わって上投げこれは奥深いニュートラに戻る急ジャンプ D へすぐた崖展開が始まる崖展開をおおこれは海域を見て動きまして撃墜またまたフォローバスティオンキャラもステージも変わらずさあ下強空中よおっとでかい横スマ強気なスマッシュが結構散見されますさあ掴みを通して逆転撃が始まるフォームが当たって空中への持続力%稼いで MK の追い乱して上強から空中へ見合って上さあ前投げしかし前投げしかしそうバンフォームがちょっと邪魔するこれもレベル1選手としてはひたすら送りバントできればいい状況なのでそうですねパーセントをちまちま稼げればいいって感じですねここで撃墜通せないのはなかなかかなり痛いあー撃墜していったのはレベル1まさかのスローいやブーメランからの空前絶対に当てますね
There is, of course, something to be said about the beauty to be found in the refined, the technical, the thoughtfully planned and immaculately executed, whether that be the finest brushwork of the painter, the most dexterous recital of the pianist, the most elegantly organized tournament, or the most practiced combo. But there is equally valid, and on occasion, greater beauty, I feel, in the spontaneous, the unplanned, greater because it emerges so starkly and surprisingly from places where often we find only chaos, in the golden strawberry glow of the setting sun, in the unshackled improvisations of the jazz soloist. And in this moment, we're 6 years after flying to Japan, double eliminating level 1 without dropping a game, and immediately getting double eliminated in turn by Peach. MKLeo now flies to Japan, and, against all odds and reason, at SSBU's greatest tournament ever, is eliminated by level 1 without taking a game. Who is then immediately double eliminated in turn by Bayonetta. But don't worry, level 1. Onisan and Tomopi Daifuku at least live in the same country as you. It can't possibly take 6 more years to get back at them too. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hype if you're on mobile. I'm also launching a Patreon soon, so keep a lookout for that. My Twitter will hopefully have information about that eventually, but with that being said, my name is SGG, and I'll see you later.
What the hell are you talking about? You've added nothing to the conversation. Get in the crystal. Sorry, buddy, get in the crystal.
Now recording.
That scares me every time. That scares me every time. Oh my god.
Hi, Craig. Evidently, I've not been here when you've turned on Craig. That is interesting.
It's so loud. I'm turning Craig down.
Oh, what? Whoa! Whoa! I saw that.
No. You did that in friendlies. Hold on. Sorry to interrupt you. You ledgehogged in friendlies. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Pilot would get stabbed at a melee logo once it's real.
Kill my son, be free! Oh, that was not worth it.
No! We f***ed up! Yeah, Pete, cash out! Yeah!
Editor, make it look like the first combo killed.
That's a little fucked up, I'm sorry.
It's alright. Whoa! Reversing Bugsy and Bonnie.
Reverse hits, bro!
Reverse it, bro! It's a cool mechanic. I'm balling.
What do I do?
Yeah. I'm balling.
I'm balling.
Why does this Loxodon skin slowly turn into a progressive commercial?
What?
No, like the insurance.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
I don't understand the thought process here.
No, I get it.
Like their commercials, they're all... Yeah, he gets it.
I don't
They're white and blue.
Yeah.
Whoa!
It's a galaxy.
What's that?
I'm just God.
Teleported.
Yeah.
Good combo.
You do that, dog.
The ice to the left dies to the down strong.
To be honest, I didn't really realize which Olympia I was holding. I'm good.
I'm getting you out of here.
I'm good.
Come, brother. This is no place to die.
Ah, you were at my side all along.
My guiding Joe light.
Alright.
Joe and I have a Bornstein and Smo type relationship.
Bornstein and Smo type relationship.
You just walk through the fog door and you just hear the music start.
Why are we in Montreal?
Why are we in Montreal?
Oh no. Pink Crimson?
Pink Crimson.
Yeah, you're complaining about 60 things. Yeah.
Oh, hello.
That's
Oh,
real
he's at
funny.
100.
That's real funny.
Oh, Montreal!
Justin Trudeau, get over to the Canadian servers!
Where am I?
Whoa.
Where am I?
To answer that, we need to talk about parallel universes.
You know, strangely, I feel right at home because this just feels like Lockstep Rivals 1. You just like kind of input your and hope it works out.
Yeah. Oh no! oh, now the lag is gone!
Lag-bearing Joe.
The lag-bearing Joe?
What's Joe taking so long? Trying to... Oh, it's immediate 11 frames.
And why are we doing this?
Oh,
Over.
been playing... See, Cirque has the advantage here. This is what Rivals is for him on the West Coast.
This is just West Coast.
That's
Average West Coast day. It's fine.
Ow.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
You sure?
Yeah, he wins this. He wins this easy.
Yeah.
He's in his natural habitat.
Oh no!
Damn, he really is.
Oh, I'm
Yo!
Tom, I know you hate anime, but can you have your editor when they do this just have Cirque in the fucking domain expansion?
Dude,
West Coast thing.
I'm the editor. Domain expansion. West Coast ping.
You see, in this connection, I can move freely. This is not the same for you, I'm afraid, East Coaster.
Oh, the Pink Crimson!
It returns. Hungry.
I've got that Pink Crimson Requiem. It only kicks in when he's in
Don't
danger.
do this to me.
Oh, my jumps! Alright, that one's on me.
No
I'm
resources.
Sorry, sir. I've cooked so hard.
No resources. Oh no!
Pink Crimson!
Domain expansion. Let's go.
This isn't fair. I don't want to be in the West Coast anymore.
You're not even in the West Coast. We're in Canada.
Domain expansion.
Oh.
Tom, I threw. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to hope that Requiem activates.
Pink Crimson's my stand, not yours.
That's a shame.
Another day.
That's
Feeling
my,
a 2v1
it's my
America.
bit.
Honest ping.
You might have Pink Crimson, but Cirque has malevolent West Coast.
Dude, oh my god, his stand is California Dreaming.
I was thinking more California Love.
California girls.
Holy shit. California editor, please doing the California girls dance.
Our frame data is now even.
You see the ping rising. The ultimate stand battle.
Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever had just so much expendable income and wish there were some rival skins you could buy? Don't you just wish you could support your favorite creators while doing so? Look, these ad reads are hard, okay? With these videos getting bigger and bigger, I've been bringing on more animators and artists to help with making them. But I also want to make sure that they get paid what they deserve. So the creator code lets me do that. The more you guys buy with it, the more people I can bring in to make art and better videos. How do you use it? It's simple. Go to the Rivals 2 store, hit the Support a Creator button, enter the code TOMASTRIMS, and you'll get a confirmation box if it works. You can buy any bundle in the shop, and not only will I receive a small cut, but you will also receive bonus Aether bucks. It's a win-win. Now go out there and use that code to get yourself some amazing skins. I know I did. Side note, there's also a Patreon where I upload extra unused clips that were cut from videos like these. I promise I'll start uploading there more. Maybe even host a patron bracket every now and then. Who knows?
My man, that was hype.
My man. My life for the clip.
That was for the funny. I was gonna do something funny. It did not work.
Hey, editor, can we put up that image of a monkey going, "We're funny"?
We're funny. Okay, we got two of them. Me when I'm dead. What do you do?
Goldberg machine. I'm getting flashbacks to Crag.
Whoops.
He also stole my stock, by the way.
Because you F-tilted me with no resources.
No resources?
No resources.
No resources?
He didn't up special me. This vexes me.
This vexes me.
This vexes me.
I am also in this game.
I too am in this episode.
This vexes me.
Yeah, it's so hard. Because Zerk literally immediately, as soon as I chase after him, no, I don't want to deal with this. There's nothing I can do about it.
I need like a quarter second to react to... I need a quarter second to react to anything. And a tenth of that...
Dude, the zoner's running so far away, he's all the way in fucking California.
It's almost like you're a zoner.
Shut the fuck up. I'm not a zoner. This character is not a zoner. I thought it would work. That's how I died.
It's what a zoner
I
like
don't get touched by two people for 30 seconds, and then I don't.
Proceed to die trying to farm the clip.
Yeah, I should.
See, look, you and Vice can relate on this. You both play zoners.
Oh yes, I'm playing a zoner right now, chat room.
Olympia's my favorite
the zoner.
I'm about to zone your Discord account into my block list.
I consider this a victory on my part.
In NASB2's wide array of characters, one's meta development that strikes me as the most interesting is Jimmy Neutron, a character rich with cool combos and a complex punish game. But unfortunately, with his many downsides, the community has him ranked on the patch 1.3 tier list as a bottom 5 character and a character not worth picking up. Until one Australian player had enough of the character's downplay and decided to change the character's fate forever. This is how Australia redefined the NASB2 meta. Jimmy being bad can be split into 3 main reasons. Number 1, bugs. His first and biggest reason for being a low tier is the excessive amount of bugs he has. It turns out if a dev team is in crunch time and has to develop a character that has 2 in-between states, a lot of quirks may appear. This list includes the Jimmy vs. Rocco bug. Jimmy loses a stock bug.
I just lost a stock. Huh?
The Jimmy vs. Zim bug. The Jimmy slow recovery when controlling Goddard bug. The Jimmy vs. Jimmy bug. Alright, you get the point. This character has a laundry list of bugs that hold him back from being a good character. His second reason for being bad is his lackluster neutral / over reliance on Goddard. Jimmy himself has quite the weak neutral game with his laggy grounded options and his overcommittal aerials. It makes his neutral pretty difficult, and in a game that has a punish game comparable to Smash 64, you do not want to get hit.
Oh my god!
And that's when Goddard comes in. Goddard has 4 moves: Bite, Slam, Laser, and Explosion. The laser is by far his best tool in neutral. You can reposition and shoot Goddard's laser at an off angle for an opening in the opponent's defenses for an advantage. The downsides though is with his low HP of 20 and a long cooldown of 6 seconds, as well as the time it takes to set up Goddard in a good position, it makes him a prioritized target, and destroying him makes it a win condition for the matchup. In summary, killing Goddard equals win the game. The last reason would be his combo complexity to damage output ratio. Jimmy has a very complex combo tree in NASB2. Since Jimmy is basically 2 characters, the second being Goddard, learning how to switch between Jimmy and Goddard for your combo makes him the hardest character to combo with in the game. And the worst part of it all is your combo to damage output is either equal or worse to the rest of the cast. To further illustrate my point, let's compare 2 optimal Touch of Death combos between Squidward, ranked the bottom 10 character in that same 1.3 tier list, and Jimmy. When comparing both combos, Jimmy mains have to do 112% more inputs than most characters to kill a character only 20% later. Leviathan, the number 1 Jimmy, summarizes this whole point perfectly, saying, Jimmy requires setup and a lot of position to do a fraction of what the top tiers do without such. Zoners in general aren't very strong in this game since offense is so strong and punish game makes or breaks a character. He just needs way more neutral wins and kills later. But what Leviathan didn't know is that below the surface of this character, there's an untapped potential that is about to be unlocked. January 7th, 2024, 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, Victoria, Australia. Dan, more known as Infinity 285, is hosting the second iteration of You Got Slimed, an OCE online NASB2 monthly. And while this is the second iteration of its series, this will unfortunately be the last You Got Slimed and the last NASB2 tournament hosted for the OCE region. It is grand finals between 2 players, Rizul versus Tyler. This matchup, funnily enough, has already happened before, during the first iteration of You Got Slime back in November 2024, and well...
Oh, this is so good, and that's it!
It wasn't that close. But during that 2-month time span, Tyler had decided to drop Jenny and proceed to master and develop Jimmy, and this set was about to bring a major impact to the meta. But before that set can even start, behind the scenes, there's been a bit of trash talk between Tyler and someone I haven't brought up yet, Rowan. Rowan is known for many things in the platform fighter scene. Combo Devil's editor, one of the best multi-versus Iron Giants, and more importantly, for the context of this story, Leviathan's best friend. Rowan one late night was browsing the NASB2 Twitch section and happened to stumble upon Dan's tournament stream. While looking at the bracket, he saw that Tyler had made it to Grands as Jimmy, and promptly said in the Twitch chat, "You let a Jimmy get to Grands?" And Tyler, seeing that chat, quickly fired back saying,
I'm just reading on chat, you let a Jimmy get to Grands?
They're talking shit. Jimmy's broken, y'all just don't know. I deadass think your Jimmys are like awful. I think
really...
Leviathan is fucking terrible, and he's like the only one doing anything.
At this point, this prompted Rowan to call up Leviathan, bring him on to watch the stream, and still, the trash talk from Tyler doesn't stop.
All the hubbub is about this Jimmy. Look,
yeah,
all
you'll
I'm gonna say is
I'm gonna die at
easily have the best punish game of any Jimmy you'll ever see in your life. Like,
Man,
means
you
friend.
called him dog shit. What are you talking about?
I called Leviathan dog shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Relax.
And by that, all I mean is that he's not pushing this character as far as he can. He's the only person pushing this character, and he's complaining about the character being bad. Like, when all three of those are being done, I have no qualms using the word dog shit.
With the stage set and the stakes set in place, Grand Finals is now underway, and what Leviathan and Rawin didn't expect was how Tyler was going to back up his smack talk and show off a new way of playing Jimmy.
Yeah, agreed. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
What's up? Yeah. Alright, I didn't mean to do that.
That playstyle right there was Goddardless Jimmy. A Jimmy playstyle that isn't focused on setting up Goddard at all during neutral, but rather setting it up during advantage for edgeguards and for pokes, and actively switches their playstyle from a zoner to a rushdown character. But quote, didn't you say that his neutral was not good due to his laggy options? Well, I wasn't being entirely truthful. While yes, all of his aerials are overcommittal, but when spaced correctly, all of his aerials are safe on shield, especially his forward air, which is a disjoint. Pair this with a move that I forgot to mention, his neutral special, Rocket, or specifically, the intelligent purple flurp rocket launching module 3000, has added pressure on shield, making his aerials even safer during neutral. But this isn't even the highlight of Tyler's new playstyle. Yeah, a Goddardless playstyle is quite uncommon, but it is something we have seen before in players such as Matt, a Jimmy main from St. Louis. But the difference between Matt and Tyler is this one specific character-changing combo you might have missed during the montage. This is the fair chain. Step 1. You'd send them up through an up tilt, a down tilt, a grab, or just any upward sending smash attack. Step 2. You would then jump up and fair. Step 3. Depending on stage positioning, we'd fast fall down and or repeat step 2. And then step 4. Once the opponent is far off stage, you would proceed to slime dash forward and finishing it off with another fair. While the combo is quite simple in itself, the damage output is insane, and it's by far the best kill confirm anyone has discovered yet. And once players like Leviathan and Matt got a hold of it, it was time to bring it into the States. It's now February 2025, and the 23 best players have collaborated together to make the first official NASB2 community tier list. And while gazing upon the tier list, you could see that Jimmy rised a few ranks and finally is a solid mid-tier pit. Wait, what do you mean they're top 5?
Is he really that far? Where all his views shit, you kinda got me. So do my thing, I can clean it, you're not gonna stop me. But I've been seeing here and there these niggas trying to copy. First stop it, I first stop it, 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 first stop it.
Oh my god! Hey y'all, I appreciate y'all being here, you know?
How did Jimmy get this high on the tier list? In order to figure this out, we'll quickly revisit our 3 biggest reasons as to why he was bad, and see what updates were made during our 1-year time skip. We'll start off with bugs first. The biggest update with this section is finally patching out all the Jimmy versus blank bugs.
Oh my god, he can move! And I'm not stuck in my fucking character! Oh my god! Oh my...
And it's thanks to Bean and Leviathan that both compiled a huge document that lists every major and minor bug this character has. And while there are still a couple of bugs that fell through the cracks, the character is definitely in a very playable state as compared to last year. Next would be his neutral and over-reliance on Goddard. While it looks like there isn't many developments on the surface to this character's neutral, thanks to Tyler's aggressive Goddardless gameplay, Jimmy mains have started to see how you don't need to rely on Goddard always being in the game, and how Jimmy can still be a threat with or without Goddard on the court. And lastly, his combo complexity and damage output ratio. While his combos have only been getting more and more complex, players like Leviathan had continued to push the character each day to make the combo tree more and more consistent. And he made it work by getting #1 in the NASB2 Season 2 PR. But eventually the torch had to have been passed down, and it got passed down to a player named Sempak, who till this day is pushing this character to limits and levels we have never seen before.
Okay, Sempak!
And even if hitting very complex combos is something you're not ready for yet, it's thanks to Tyler's Slime Dash combo that there is still a simpler killing combo that is still used to top players and casual players to this day. While the years go by and the fate and timeline of NASB2 is still uncertain, a lot of the history of Jimmy's development will be mainly credited to players like Leviathan and Sempak. But today, I would like to add another person to this list. The first solo Jimmy tournament winner. The first Jimmy that knew this character wasn't a bumbling low tier, but knew that this character had top tier potential. The overly confident, trash-talking Australian Jimmy? Tyler.
Alright. I don't think I do, no. I hear you in Discord, not on this thing. I hear Fig.
Oh, I hear.
Yeah. Alright, well as long as it's working.